press conference. Still got a few minutes to go before it starts. We're going to hear some stuff in the background. I'm trying to find the, trying to find it right now. So, let's see here. We don't know if that was a central part of his master's work, but again, according to the university... Let me see here. Let's just go to the news. He did graduate from DeSale with a master's in criminal justice. Nicole?
All right, Evan Lambert with some more information on this suspect.
Let's see here. We're going to go with...
Evan, thank you for that. Thank you for watching. Go to News Nation now.
We're going to go with this one right here. I don't know which one I want to go with. There's so many. So many.
Wouldn't that be quite the twist? He was following Maddie on Instagram.
All right, let's see here.
I mean, I'm not
We're going to go with ABC. There ain't too many.
Committed any crime or anything.
ABC, so we'll take
Americans in need of dental work can claim a $5,400 health voucher approved by Biden.
For dog owners and the key takeaways from the biggest stories.
World News Now and America This Morning.
Come in to like,
early morning
share,
news.
Today does feel a little different. Early mornings on ABC News Live.
America's #1 news, ABC News. Most
I'll probably look a lot better than
most trusted, and streaming live to you anytime, anywhere, and free. This is
But yes,
ABC
there has
News
been
Live,
arrests in
America's
Idaho
#1 streaming news, free to you
I'm keeping off the
24/7.
weekend
Watch America's
early right
#1
now.
news whenever you want it, wherever you are, anytime. ABC News Live, streaming live and free on all platforms. More Americans choose ABC News, America's #1 news source.
With his desire to commit a crime. Well, I guess
And welcome back to ABC News Live. Here are some of today's top headlines. Former professional kickboxer and social media influencer Andrew Tate has been arrested in Romania. Romanian authorities say they are holding Tate and his brother Tristan in
28-year-old
custody
man was
on charges
arrested in
of human
connection
trafficking and rape.
with
Brothers are accused of being part of an
University of Idaho.
organized crime group. The Diocese of Rome is holding a special public mass in Pope Benedict's honor today. The former pope is said to be in serious but stable condition now after falling ill a few days ago. The Vatican says Pope Benedict participated in mass today in his own room and that, quote, at present, his condition is stationary. Well, I'm Terry Moran. Thank you for joining us. Now, as we wrap up 1 year and are set to begin another, we leave you now with a heartfelt thank you to all the people, some here with me, some in the control room, New York, all the people who, behind the scenes, work tirelessly to bring you the news each and every day here at ABC News Live. Have a wonderful new year. See you right back here in 2023. And look at this.
And today is also the day that they're having Maddie and Haley's, they're having their, memorial services.
%97 of Americans still don't know that if you make less than $50,000 per year, you can qualify for between 4.
We've been talking about how there's now been an arrest in the case of those Idaho murders. Again, 4 students murdered on November 13th. We do have the mugshot of the individual who's now been arrested in connection to that, and want to put it up here on your screen. So this, again, is just a developing story we're keeping track of right here for you on Live Now from Fox. A suspect in the killing of those students was arrested in eastern Pennsylvania, and law enforcement has been confirming that with our Fox News digital teams. Now, arrest paperwork filed in Monroe County Court said Brian Christopher Koberger, 28 years old, was being held for extradition to Idaho, where he faces a first-degree murder charge. A law enforcement official did confirm the arrest, also with the Associated Press, on condition of anonymity, because obviously they have a lot of work ahead of them still to do, and they said they could not publicly discuss details of the investigation ahead of a formal announcement, which is expected later here on Friday. Now, those 4 students, again, were stabbed to death in a rental home near campus sometime in the early morning hours of November 13th. And the slayings initially had mystified those.
3.5 weeks later, a killer still on the loose after 4 University of Idaho students savagely stabbed to death in the middle of the night, with police pressed for answers from a frightened community. Many wondering, is the case going cold as investigators work around the clock to try to provide answers? Good afternoon to you folks. JB here with you live on WFLA Now. Of course, we are talking about...
I'm just trying to find the right one that's going to be, I just want the best in my people.
This is an NBC News special report. Here's Tom Yamas.
Hey, good afternoon. We are coming on the air with breaking news right now about a major development in a closely watched murder case. Just moments from now, police in Moscow, Idaho will hold a news conference where they are expected to announce an arrest in the murders of 4 Idaho college students. The roommates, all found stabbed to death in their home on November 13th. This is the suspect. You see him here. He's a 28-year-old man by the name of Brian Koberger. He was taken into custody this morning in Pennsylvania. The case has drawn worldwide attention and shocked the small town of Moscow, Idaho, a farming community of about only 25,000 people. Any moment now, the chief of police in Moscow, Idaho, will be joined by university officials. As we wait for them to begin, let's go to NBC's Dana Griffin, who's inside the room right now where that news conference is set to take place. And Dana, set the scene for us. So many questions being asked here in a small town in America that was rocked by these murders.
Yeah, a lot.
That.
Angela Palermo, Idaho Statesman. Your department and other investigators on the case took a lot of flack for keeping information close to your chest. Are you glad that you did that, and were you worried about tipping the suspect off?
I will 100% stand behind the way that we handled this investigation. And this all started from day one with our patrol officers arriving on scene, locking down the scene, us calling in the Idaho State Police, us calling in the FBI, and keeping information that was pertinent to this case very, very tight. We want to have a situation where when this goes to trial, there is no doubt that we've done everything right and we've slowed down and we've continued to slow down. We'll continue to do that.
Hey, Chief. Have you guys found the murder weapon or the Hyundai Elantra?
So we are still looking for all pieces of evidence, but we are still looking for the weapon. And I will say that we have found an Elantra.
Stephanie Becker with CNN. Can you tell what it was like when you got the phone call when the police told you that they had your suspect?
I can tell you, for a lot of law enforcement, it was a fairly sleepless couple of days with as we were leading up to everything that we were doing. But what I can tell you is I have faith in those agencies across the nation. I have faith in our officers. I have faith in the FBI, and they did a great job. But sure, there was some times, even throughout the day, that we were always concerned.
Hi, Chief. Danya back at CBS News. Can you talk a little bit more about the suspect's connection to Pennsylvania?
All I know is that he lives in Pennsylvania.
Chief Guy Tannenbaum from Nonstop Local KHQ in Spokane. More about the Elantra. We saw reports that you mentioned that you recovered an Elantra, but can you specify where that was found? And we know that that was one of the biggest pieces of information you were asking from the public to tip. Were you able to provide an information on whether those tips led to this seizure of an Elantra?
That's still part of the investigation that will come out in the future.
Chief Glenn Mosley, Idaho Public Radio here in Moscow. The additional police presence in town and on campus, semester's coming. Is that going to continue?
You will continue to see state troopers in the area. You know, we're talking to Latah County as well. You will see a presence of us that we're always have up on campus. We have assigned officers to that. So you will continue to see a law enforcement presence. I'm going to take two more questions.
Hi, Chief. Julie Scott, ABC News. Can you tell us if you eventually had a license plate number to the Elantra and how you tracked it to Pullman?
That's still part of the investigation that will come out.
Okay.
Chief, hi, Matt Lovelace with the Murrow College of Communication. I want to ask about Mr. Koberger as a graduate student at WSU. Are you aware of if he returned to campus after November 13th? And have you had any communication with departments on the WSU campus about his attendance?
So some of that is going to be followed up as we continue our investigation. We'll be asking some of those questions, but that will come out in the near future. So what I do want to do is I want to thank you all. You really have been the national voice for us. You've given us the opportunity to get many, many tips, and I do appreciate everything you've done, and we'll continue to look forward to working with you in the future on this. So I'd like to thank you for that, and thank you for your time.
If you're just tuning in, we've been listening to a news conference from Moscow, Idaho, where they've announced breaking news. They have arrested a suspect in the case of those murders at the University of Idaho. Police say this man, you see him right here, Brian Christopher Koberger, has been arrested in northeastern Pennsylvania. He is 28 years old. He's charged with 4 counts of first-degree murder, along with felony burglary. According to police, he was a graduate student just over the border of Moscow, Idaho, in the state of Washington, at Washington
Washington State University. We've been following the news conference since it started. Dana Griffin is inside that room where the news conference occurred. Dana, because of the state law in Idaho, police could not tell us a lot about the evidence up until that suspect is extradited back to Idaho. He's still in Pennsylvania right now. But according to sources who have spoken to NBC News, we know one of the key pieces of evidence here, which police were asking about, was that white Hyundai Elantra. And we know, according to our sources, that a Hyundai Elantra was pulled from Koberger's house earlier today.
That's right, Tom. And even police have confirmed that that white Hyundai Elantra has been found. Back on December 7th, that was that key public piece of information, the real big clue that has been released since November that confirmed that.
Okay, guys, I'm going to stop for now. I'm getting sick, like literally, and it's nothing to do with me drinking either. I'm just like, I don't know. I just don't know. This is wow. And I'm gonna jump off here and talk to the other creators that are doing the presser as well. I just want to have this out for y'all because I know that y'all have been y'all have been here and things like that. So love y'all. Please share this out and remember what the chief said. They said they need anything and everything on the suspect. His name is Brian Christopher Koberger. I'll make sure I put all of that in a community post here in a little bit. But I love y'all. Have a great day. Talk to you later.